Yes, everybody, us on the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. It's currently Luton Town 1. West Ham United 2. Anderson has just scored in the second minute of injury time. Still a couple of minutes to go. It's a corner. Obviously, West Ham went 2-0 up. Kurt Zuma with a corner. Header, the ball comes in from Luton. It's kicked out and it's Kudus has cleared the ball. Kudus has come on for Paqueta, which is... which was good to see. Kudus get some minutes. Ball's been launched back in by the goalkeeper, and it's been launched back out. And now Fornals is trying to chase down the keeper. He's got the ball. He's playing in the midfield now. Ball comes out to the wide. It's gone back into side. Hoof ball from Luton for the last minute. We're making very hard work of this bit now. Soufal checks it and hoofs the ball again. A lot of hoof ball at the moment. A lot of hoof ball. Just hold it in the corner now for now. West Ham got the ball in the corner. Just hold on to it, Bowen, please. Or no, Ings has got it now. Just hold on to it. You got 45 seconds left of the injury time. And it's a West Ham throw-in just in line with the box. It's a very close. Well, it's a close game, really. I mean, they showed the. Oh yeah. Oof. Could have been handball there. Could have been handball. Oh, I don't think. I think that would be unlucky if that was given for handball. To be honest, says Will Prowse. His arm wasn't in an unusual position, but Kudus clears it anyway. Regardless, doesn't matter. Fuck it. Don't care. We're top of the league if we finish this game as it is at the moment. But Soufal throws the ball. It is a goal kick. They literally are in the dying seconds, and they're going to be. The goalkeeper did a short pass for some reason at the game. Why he didn't hoof it, I do not know. Long ball into the back post. They're going to be trying to hoof it round. Ball goes into the middle. It goes out to the back. It's been deflected. And Ariella saves. That's got to be it now. That's got to be it. Surely. That's got to be it. Unbelievable, Jeff. I tell you, it's been a great. I mean, Zuma's been an absolute colossus today, absolute colossus. 10 clearances, 8 duels, 5 possession, 1. He's been absolutely phenomenal today, in my opinion, and he's been fantastic. We come on, ref. Surely that's it now. Surely that's it. Surely that is it. That is it. Surely that's it. Done now. No, they're still hoofing the ball. And it's been intercepted. And yeah, that's it. West Ham, yes, 2-1, top of the table, having a laugh. We go back to the top of the Premier League table with that win. Absolute. That was one for the. That wasn't one for the purists. Let's be honest. But top of the league, having a laugh. Back where we belong. Top of the league. Top of the league. Top of the league. Where's it? Top of the table. Top of the league and having a laugh. Indeed, having a laugh. I don't know if any of you heard the West Ham fans singing, "We're going to win the league." Don't think so with that display, but we managed to get one. Let me just I've got to walk my keyboard. Oh Christ, that'll play up. Close game indeed, Archer. Yours. What do you think of our Europa League? I think we did quite well actually. We've managed to do quite well, to be honest. Out of that, I think. Kurt Zuma thought was fantastic, not good enough, but it's 3 points, epic, and that's what's going to end. And at the end of the day, that's all. That's all that matters, really. In all honesty, at the moment, to be fair, it's we are 10 points now with 4 games gone, quarter of the way through to safety, and top of the table. Top of the league and having a laugh. Top of the league and having a laugh. Same goal difference as Man City, although they've played 1 game less. Kudus for 5 minutes. In all honesty, I was surprised he even got 5 minutes, to be fair. I thought Moyes was going to keep it really tight for this one. I would fully expect Kudus to get some, maybe even start against Man City, to be honest. Top of the league, we survived that one. We did. Stubborn Moyes, the jailer, and that's all it is for Moyes. It is about getting the result, mate. Top of the league. Having a laugh.
What are we, Russ? What are we?
Top of the league and having a laugh.
Everyone can see it. Right there.
Mind the gap, Mr. Number 41.
I tell you what, though. Do you know what? How vital it is to be 10 points off the back of your first 4 games. Because look, Look at Newcastle. 3 games in, 3 points.
Well, look at the bottom.
And,
The bottom.
yeah.
You've got 3. You've got 3 teams. Got 4 teams. None of them got any points. All the promoted sides. None of them got any points either. It was boring. More attrition, and we're top of the league.
Yeah,
that's the way it's going to be, and that's the way it's going to be this year. Unfortunately, it's going to be like that this year.
Tommy, you're in, mate. A bit nervy at the end there, but I think all in. I mean, it was a deserved victory. It was a dog-eat-dog victory, really, wasn't it? But what do you think?
Look, first and foremost, the most important thing is the winning the 3 points. So I'm always going to be happy, whenever we've won a game of football. We've got 10 points from our opening 4 games. So you've got to be happy. We're doing really well. Top of the league again, albeit probably temporarily, but, ultimately just win the game. So I'm happy. I'll get accused of being miserable and complaining.
But do you know what? Do you know what though? Again, trying to put everything into context, right? So I get where people come from in terms of they want a more flamboyant style, totally. Right? But I get that 100%. But again, it is a results-end business, and these are the sort of games. I've got to be brutally honest with it. West Ham of last year probably would have gone there and got beaten.
Yeah,
West Ham of 3 seasons ago, not 2 seasons ago, but 3 or 4 seasons ago, would have gone to Luton and got beaten. It's got so much all about it to be that banana skin. We obviously allowed Luton to sit back, and West Ham had most possession. I mean, Russ, I heard you at halftime talking about the passing stats. I mean, West Ham had 603 passes today,
which is more than all of our 3.
Our passing rate today was, like you said, Russ, more than all 3 games previous before them. So we allowed them. So we had to go at them a little bit more. But see, when we had those spells of possession, we didn't necessarily do anything with it. It was a little bit like we were like, "Oh, we've got the ball a lot. What are we going to do with it?" But we won the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it wasn't great to watch. I thought we were actually overall quite poor tonight. We had a lot of possession, didn't really do nearly enough with it. Quite disappointed with the performance. I think certainly the final third, we were found wanting. Also defensively at times we were very shaky. Especially from the amount of crosses that were coming in from that left-hand side, we looked uncomfortable. Anytime a corner came in, we looked uncomfortable. So not a great performance overall, it has to be said. Luckily for us, Luton are shite, and they're going to be bottom of the table all season. So they didn't have enough about them to punish us.
I know they didn't. I know.
So, great performance, but
it wasn't. And I don't. To be honest, I didn't think that we had to get. It almost like we didn't have to get out of another gear. In all honesty, we just seemed to be quite happy to just play the ball.
Looking left to right a lot.
But it was just like It was very reminiscent of the European games last season, where we just did enough just to win. It was, you could have made a statement today easily with enough of that possession, and because it was like we did and then every 1 in 20 times we went across, Paqueta did a really fast ball into Antonio, and that bypassed their midfield, and it worked every time.
But I tell you what, I swear to God, if this keeps on going, I will fucking take that every week.
Yeah.
I'm not joking, and I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't swap fucking unbelievable football for the emotional roller coaster I'm going on right now. I hope it lasts. I'm not saying it will last, but I'm just saying right now I'm enjoying the moment of us being up top. I mean, I'm looking at during the game, I kept saying Kurt Zouma. I mean, he was colossal today again.
He's brilliant.
It was unbelievable defensively, but the fact of the matter is we're obviously playing a team that are struggling, and he's had to be colossal back there.
It was his type of game. They got 2 big lads up front, and you know what they're going to do. Hoof ball it up, get crosses wide, try and beat it, and it was very physical up front. And that's when Zuma's the best. He's, when he's up against a tricky little, forward, that's when he's not as good as when he's up against someone who's physical like him, and so there was a good physical battle between the two of them. I thought Alvarez was very good. A couple of times he was, a couple of times he could have done the easy route. He could have just lumped it, and actually he took time on the ball and then looked for a sensible pass rather than just hoof it, which sometimes we often do to just clear the lines. I thought he played well. I thought Bowen was pretty nondescript. I just didn't. He sort of flashed out the game quite a bit. Obviously, he had the header, but just I thought Soufal again was suspect in the right hand side. As Tommy said, the young Giles, I think his name was, had him on toast pretty much most of the game, and they took him off.
I want to add something about Alvarez though. Like let's remember something, that he is by far the most far behind player in terms of his fitness levels, in terms of his pre-season. So he's came into West Ham, had a tiny pre-season, and he's about 8 games off of the rest of the players. And
you're right.
And I think his performance today probably did show that. But if he's given us a 75% Alvarez, and that was today, then I am quite excited, because I'm quite excited about his awareness. I agree with you. I think he did sometimes, do something a little bit harder than what he should have. But he had 94.
I like that. I like that. Do you know what I mean? I like the fact he's got something more about him, because usually in that sort of, no disrespect, that water carrier role, it tends to be as a blocker. I mean, he did a phenomenal tackle towards the end of the second half, which everyone thought was a penalty, but the ref was pointing at the goal kick rather than the penalty spot. But he do that, but then he was soon and flipped to the goal. That was all for him. His impetus running forward, little 1-2s, a couple of times off Paqueta, go into Paqueta dinks it over, Bowen back post. Did the marker behind him, didn't see him, and scored the goal. So I think Alvarez is going to be a very, very good player. Again, I thought JWP was solid. Again. Solid game. Another assist.
Alvarez's stats for everyone today is 94 touches, 85% accuracy in passing today. He was accurate in over about 60% of his long balls attempted. He won 50% of his ground duels, 50% of his aerial duels. He made 5 clearances, 2 block shots, 1 interception, 3 successful tackles. As well, so and when you look at his heat map,
it's a real shame he'll be dropped for Souček next week.
Well, I think Benny will. Because it's the international break, isn't it? So we'll see what happens now. Obviously, we get the international break, and
I think Tommy, and Russ, like, if anything, that game today is kind of confirmed, I think, everything that we've always known about Ben Rama, with the nicest and utmost respect for the player, for what he's, his stats read really well, but his final third is extremely frustrating. It's now he's becoming consistently, struggling with his final third, and sometimes you feel like, when you look at his stats, they should be double, because he should be putting the ball either into the box, not over hitting them, not under hitting them. Just that fine line of doing it, and he's doing it a bit too inconsistent. But that shows the gap, and that shows where a player like Kudus can step in, or another player can step in to try and battle his position. I thought the energy when Fornals came on was really good. He always brings a good energy around, doesn't he, when he comes on? But essentially, Tommy, mate, it's not the best style of football, but it's winning. It's winning games. We're top of the league. Luton weren't great, absolutely not.
No.
Antonio was stuck up top himself. What was your kind of thoughts there with Antonio?
I think, look, again, he worked hard. He always does. Not his best performance either tonight. I thought there were a lot of kind of meh performances.
Yeah, good job.
A lot of average performances. Maybe with the exception of Alvarez, Zuma, and Paqueta, who I thought were all really good. I thought after that, everything was fairly average, including Antonio. Agree with you on Benny. He's very wasteful in the final third. He should be banned from shooting. I don't know why he's allowed to shoot. He's absolutely terrible at it. I thought at half time it was a perfect opportunity to introduce Kudus, given that we had so much possession.
Yes.
And Benny wasn't having a great game. I thought, get Kudus on, give him 45 minutes. He's obviously fit enough. I mean, he played for Ajax very recently. He's had a full pre-season. So I was very disappointed we didn't see him. I agree absolutely with Russ. I would have taken Soufal off at half-time and tried Kehrer out on the right back, because, I mean, the amount of crosses he allowed in that first half was criminal, and they were causing us a problem. So I thought Soufal was lucky boy to have David Moyes as manager because he doesn't really make changes. But yeah, I thought other than those three, Zuma, Paqueta, and Alvarez, I thought the rest were fairly average. Unfortunately, because of the way we've been coached for kind of 4 years or so now under David Moyes, we don't really know what to do with possession, even against a poor team.
Yeah.
We're not quite sure how to open these teams up and cut them open, and you could see that we struggled to create opportunities. It took a very long time for us to get our first shot on target, and it went in. Thankfully, it was from Bowen, and it was a moment of magic from Paqueta, who was absolutely imperious tonight. By the way, he's a very special player, and I just love watching him play football. Some of the things he does on the ball, and it's not just the step overs that don't go anywhere or silly little flicks that don't do anything. I mean, he's effective. He tries to play balls that hurt the opposition, and he's just a joy to watch. And I think only for Kurt Zuma scoring, he might have got man of the match. But
yeah, possibly. Yeah, I'm going to leave you, Tommy and Russ, to carry on the review.
We struggle. No worries. Talk to you, Anton.
Go on.
Yeah, I think we struggle a bit, Russ, when we've got a lot of possession.
You do, we do, and it's because that's the thing. Our game plan is low possession, counter attack, and it is Moyes for 1.0. And you're going to get these situations, particularly at the London Stadium, against the likes of, say, Luton come to the London Stadium or Sheffield United or someone like that. We're going to have to, you hope with the signing of someone like Kudus, it injects someone a bit of a form of forward momentum, and I think it's going to be fascinating to see. Obviously, we've got City top of the table clash, of course, at the London Stadium when we play Man City's net after the international break. It's going to be interesting to see the role Kudus plays there, because, or just the way we set up. I mean, obviously, we're going to be proper Moyes 1.0, but I just think there seems to be a real. And I know it was a boring game, but it just seemed the team seemed to work together. Someone put in the chat a really good point. Aged seems to really struggle when he's against a physical forward, and I totally agree. Where Zuma excels when he's up against a physical forward. Aged, he was at times a little bit suspect to Adebayo, and that's for sure. I think it just seemed I like and it's quite funny because for all Moyes will come out and say that JWP. That's why you buy Premier League ready players. Anton makes a really good point. Alvarez has now played 2 90-minute games, and he hasn't looked out of place at all in the Premier League.
Look, quality is quality, and if you're buying in quality players, you'll see that. I never really bought into the whole, they need 6 months to bloody settle in and get used to the Premier League and their teammates and all that. They're footballers. They know how to play football.
Yeah.
They can adjust quickly. You're not trying to teach them to play rugby. You're not trying to teach them a different sport. They've been doing it for a long time. If they're quality, they'll be fine. But I think as regards the Man City game in a couple of weeks, I think the fact we've made such a good start and we've got 10 points on the board already, it kind of takes the pressure off that game.
It does, yeah. Yeah.
It would be different, if we had a horrible start and we really needed to pick up some points and it's a home game, we can say, there would be some pressure on. But I think we can go out and look, we'll do what we do. I was going to say have a go, but obviously that's not going to happen. But,
have a go.
We could go out and do what we did against Chelsea and do what we did against Brighton and see where it takes us. See if we can get some kind of result from it. But if we lose that game, I don't think anyone's going to lose any sleep over it.
No.
City are the best team in the world. Even sitting back, they're going to find ways to open us up. And it's a very hard.
Their fans last season, I think the season before that, said West Ham were one of the only teams who gave them a proper game. They were very complimentary about us, particularly at the London Stadium. They said, we actually gave them a game, which surprised me, but that's City fans for you. As you said, it's a strange game, isn't it? I always thought it was going to be a strange game today because it's very reminiscent of the Forest game last year. Obviously, the first game that Forest played in the Premier League at City Ground, same as Kenilworth Road and Luton today. Obviously, we lost that game. Former captain. He should have known number 41 missed a penalty. We lost 1-0. And probably if we played them last year at the same time, Luton, we would have probably walked away with a loss. We might have scraped a draw. Because to be honest, Luton put us under a lot of pressure, like you was going to assume they would do, coming at the second half. But there does seem a little bit of a resilience in this side, and long may it continue, mate. You know what I mean? It's long may it continue. It's not. It's a real juxtapositioning. It's a boring style of football. We know it's boring, but it's effective. And I think someone put in the chat at half time that Bowen now has scored in the first 3 away games, which is the first time a player has done that since Vic Watson in the early 30s.
Jesus.
I know, and he's still getting
astonishing. That's an astonishing stat.
Yeah, if that's true, brilliant. I mean, it could have bollocked, but it does sound like the first player. I'm gonna have to message. I'm going to have to message Nigel Khan about that and ask him about that question because if anyone knows, he'll know. Actually, Martin Godlinman might know. I'm going to message him. But yeah, an astonishing stat if that's true. I mean, he's somehow Bowen's finding the net, and as I said, JWP another assist. 2 assists and a goal in his first 4 games. I wouldn't mind that if he carries that trail of thought, keeps going for that the rest of the season.
He's
very stressful.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's what he does. That's what he does.
He's an assist machine, yeah. And I think, that's really why he was brought in. He's a very good passer of ball and he's an assist machine. Works very hard. Obviously Moyes loves players that will put in a shift. So yeah, he'll certainly keep his place. It's going to be interesting with Souček available for the City game because Alvarez has been really, really good. He's been really good, Alvarez.
I mean, he's someone put in the chat just now. I think he's played himself into starting 11, and to be honest, I think he has. I mean, we know what's going to happen. We know Moyes is going to drop Ben Rama for Souček, and he'll play a 4-1-4-1 with Paqueta on the left wing. We know what's going to happen because that's what he did against Brighton, and he'll do exactly the same thing. But obviously, unlike obviously the Brighton game, to be more credit to Moyes, he could have, when Souček went off, he could have brought on Kira, he could have brought on Fornals and maybe a more defensive substitution, but he brought on Ben Rama and it went to this and it worked. And obviously that side then started today as well. And it will be fascinating. But don't forget also we'll have Big Dinos will be back. Mavropanos will be in contention as well. And if anyone watched
I'll tell you what, Mavropanos I think might take Aguerd's place soon enough. Aguerd has been shaky in the early games of this season. He's been quite shaky. He was shaky again tonight. He just always looks like he's got a couple of mistakes in him every game. And, if Mavropanos kind of impresses in training, Aguerd could be in a bit of bother, for his place.
Well, on what's the name on the West Ham YouTube channel where they were doing the because Mavropanos was training with the first team. He was playing right back. There we go. He's quick. Dan Burn does it for Newcastle. And if anything, if you look at that side at the moment, I think that's one of the players who stands out as not playing well at the moment. I think is Soufal. I think he's getting shown up quite a lot at the moment. So. Who knows? We haven't bought anyone. We haven't bought a new right back or anything like that. So you never know. You never know.
That's an interesting.
That was a true stat.
Don't know if he's ever played at right back before, but he does have good feet.
I think he has.
Yeah,
I'm going to have a look at. Why not? Do you know what I mean? It's like something at City as well. Just have a go, and it's an extra body. You got to think if we have Souček back in the side, and then we have Mavropanos back in the side, we'll have a 6'4" and another 2 6'4" players in that side now. We missed that today. For all what Souček doesn't bring, we missed his height in the box when it came to defending corners and stuff. And obviously with someone like Mavropanos coming in as well, that's 2 really meaty boys for JWP to ping it onto the head. Also defensively.
I think for the City game, all 3 will play. I think Mavropanos will come in alongside Aguerd and Zuma. I think we'll play 3 at the back with the wing backs.
And then we'll put Alvarez in front of him as well, and it'll be like, no, none shall pass in that midfield.
It's going to be it's going to be like them training matches, defense versus attack.
Yeah,
so,
he has played. Mavropanos has played 4 games in his career at right back. Hashtag
Yes.
just saying. It's probably for Arsenal or something like that.
Yeah.
West Ham posted that stat on the website. Okay, so it's true. Brilliant. And Tommy, what about the older Europa League draw? What are you thinking about that? Are you happy with that?
Yeah, pretty happy. I mean, look, there are better teams in there than there are in the Conference League. So,
Definitely.
whoever we got, we're going to have some half decent sides in there. Olympiacos obviously will be a bit of a challenge. They'll be a decent side. They've got some pedigree in Europe as well. Olympiacos, they're very experienced in European football. Freiburg, look, they're German and they finished top 4 in the Bundesliga. They're obviously not going to be mugs. They're going to be a good side. They'll be technically good. They'll be well organized. So they'll be a challenge as well. But look, I think we'll be absolutely fine. There's worse groups you could have been in. So I think we'll certainly get out of the group. I expect we'll finish top of the group. So I don't have too many concerns. I'll be completely honest. I think we'll come through. I think we've got more than enough quality to get through in that group. I think obviously the important thing is to make sure you win your 3 home games first and foremost, and that's 9 points, and you're most of the way there at 9 points.
Definitely. I think due to, in terms of UEFA directives, we'll find out the home and away order by lunchtime tomorrow. So obviously we know the match days. We know we're playing home or away. So I think that's critical as well, because obviously we don't have any away fans for the first away game. And everyone's praying that it's the Serbia game, the TSC, because it's a bastard to go to, and Serbia and TSC will have to move their game to an 8,000 seater stadium, I think, minimum. So that's a requirement for Europa League directive, I believe. So it'd be even more of an arse to get to. So I think everyone's praying that we get we don't get the Serbia game is the first away game. But no, I think we've done well. I think we've done when you look at, I was talking to my wife today, and I said, this is who we've got, and she went, who? And I, who? And I was like, okay, well then I said, who else are in there? So there's Ajax, Marseille. So I know them, and Sporting. Yeah, I know Sporting Lisbon, and I think we've done well to I think us and Liverpool have done very well. I feel sorry for Brighton, but hey ho, if you're going to be in Europe, you might as well be against. Welcome Ajax and Marseille to the Amex Stadium. I think there's a couple of group of deaths. I think Group G is a group of death. I think that could be anyone in that group, and Group C as well. But it's and obviously similar to last year, if you win the group, you go straight into the last 16. If you don't, then you play the playoff with whoever drops down from the third place into the Champions League. If we don't win that group, I'll be very disappointed. And that's not me being Spursy or anything. It's we've got a pedigree now. We've got a pedigree in Europe. We're top seeds. We're in coefficiency 27th. If we have a good Europa League, we could qualify for the World Club Cup next season in America because they've opened it up. I think it's 32 teams now for the next Club World Cup, and at the moment we're in the European places. So here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I mean, we've been doing so well now. I feel like I can be talking to fans of other teams and be really arrogant, be like, yeah, but what's your UEFA coefficient, mate? Really,
Yeah, it's something me and Anton said.
You got a shit coefficient,
exactly.
coefficient.
We didn't even know what the fuck coefficient was 2 seasons ago, did we? Now we're like, we're the 27th best team in Europe. What? Like, yeah. Someone said it was I don't know if you heard the crowd today. They were just chanting with that song, with that tune. You're only here for the season. Which I thought was a bit harsh. But I mean, you're totally right, Paul. Freiburg are no mugs, as you said. They qualified through for the Europa League based on their performance last year in the Bundesliga. I think they're 4th or 5th in the Bundesliga last year. They're no mugs, so you don't get in that position in the Bundesliga. And as you said, Olympiacos, their star signing is the new one who Forest bought, and then they loaned him to Olympiacos because it's the owner owns both. And Marcello used to play for him. Do you remember? He signed from them from Real Madrid. So, and TSC, I think they're just a Serbian side, and you don't want to play a Serbian side away from home because they're going to be nasty, aren't they, really? Alf's a decent draw indeed. 0 clean sheets. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we have tightened up that defense, but not enough for my liking. We should have come away with a clean sheet today. A clean sheet and a 2-0 win would look a lot better than a 2-1. Slightly concerning, I think. We haven't conceded. We've conceded in all those games. Not necessarily the Chelsea Brighton game, but the Bournemouth was a sloppy goal, and today was a sloppy goal again. And to be fair, another day, another VAR different check could have been 2-2 because the JWP. Could have. It wasn't a handball, but in some people's eyes, it might have been. But fuck it. I'm not being funny. The amount of times VAR fucked us over last year, it's nice to have it. And as you said, three away games, 7 points, 100% record in the London Stadium, undefeated, top of the league.
Yeah.
And
as you know, I was at the Chelsea game, so that was,
it was good. It was a good game, wasn't it? It was a funny game. Alster's next few games going to be crucial for us momentum for the season. I totally agree. I thought Russ was going to say that we can qualify for the World Cup. Calm down. We're not that good yet. Just the Club World Cup in the US next season. It is a good point. We do have quite a few games coming up after the international break. So I'm quite happy that Bowen and JWP didn't get called up.
Me too.
Because they can have a bit of rest now. So, or not a rest, but it's they can get ready because it's going to be busy. September's going to be busy now with obviously the Carabao Cup and the Europa League and the Premier League coming up. And then, as Fez said, 4 games in 10 days. And then we'll see how, if it's as bad, if we have to, if the first game is going to be away from home rather than at home, there's more travel involved. I prefer a home tie. If we can get the 21st as a home tie, I think that would help us out a little bit as well, particularly if we have to travel to Lincoln City in the Carabao Cup. Another good draw for us for once. We didn't get Man City. What's going on?
Yeah, things are looking up. It's great start to the Premier League and decent draw in the Europa League, 3rd season in a row in Europe, and very nice draw in the Carabao Cup. So yeah, it's a positive start to the season all in all. And we've done really well in the transfer window. I know we probably could have done with another player or two, but I think we've signed quality over quantity, which is what I always want to see us do. We've improved the first 11, and that's important.
And I think when you look at the squad now, firstly, there's we have had 2 goalkeepers on the bench for the last couple of weeks, which is good.
Yeah.
But there's real quality on there. When you feel like Souček wasn't playing today, and you still had a bench, and you had the likes of Fornals you could bring on, you had the likes of Agbona, you had Danny Ings, you had Kudus, you've got Fabianski. It's a proper squad now, and those 4 games in 10 days, we're going to need that full squad. So it's going to be about how Moyes handles it, and that's the thing that slightly worries me. Is Moyes has always wanted a small squad. He's actually got quite a big, a squad full of depth now, and we know Fabianski threw his toys out when he got dropped. And there's going to be some tough decisions going to be made. Maybe one with Thomas Souček, maybe, for example, against Man City. Probably not, but it might happen. It's going to be interesting to see how it's handled. But when the team are together, and like this team seem a real togetherness, I'm not as worried, because if it was like a group of individuals and, he's pissed off. But this team seems to be a proper unit already, which is really nice. I mean, the other day, Kudus, doing the training, and he was speaking a Ghanaian dialect with Joseph Anang, and I was like, I love that. Yeah. That's absolutely brilliant. Right, yes. Have we still got international? Have we still got the bloody transfer window? Still got 34 minutes rather. Come on. For nothing to happen.
Nothing's happening.
Nothing's going to happen, and nothing will happen. I agree with you, Tommy. I would have liked maybe 1 or 2 other bodies in, to be honest. I would have preferred to move a couple of them out as well, just to freshen up that squad, particularly even the bench, just to freshen up that bench, because, not being funny, the likes of, no disrespect to them, but Fornals has been around for a while now. Benny's been around there for a while now. None of them have sort of said, this is my spot. And like Bowen is literally we haven't bought anyone to sort of to compete in that spot, but that's his spot. And corner, I just wouldn't mind an Ings. They're all sort of near players. I wouldn't mind a little bit of moving about just to try and a bit of jiggery pokery. She said a couple in, couple out, and even if it was bringing a couple of loans just to freshen that bench up a little bit. Looks like, as I said, I think Marston looks like he's gone to Burnley. with an initial £30 million or with £30 million after an obligation. That's not. That's a lot of money.
It is,
in my opinion. No wonder he pulled out of that one. I think. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to be much. I don't think it's going to be much for us now. Yeah, it's. I think you can go to bed. As God rest his soul.
I still think we're going to sign Lingard. It's just there in the chat.
Without a doubt. Although I think Sean said that someone said, he's not fit enough yet, but it doesn't matter because we can sign him whenever, and there's a space for him. We don't have to chuck anyone out. We're at 24 capacity. We're at 24, so we can get him. He's another homegrown player as well. So, and as I said, he would. I think he would play quite a few games, particularly in Europe. He'll take it from the Lanzini role. And I know Dan's the same thoughts with me about that. You know, a fit, motivated Lingard, don't mind that at all. But yeah, that's obviously that can happen after the transfer window. I did see something on the bench though. When Benny went off, he was sat there talking to the guy who always hands out the water bottles and does like the really funny warm up pre-match. And he went like that, and he went like on the phone, and he went, "Yeah, it's fine." But maybe the Saudis are making a late bid. They're all based in. They've all moved to Cannes, I think. So I think someone was saying yesterday, like all the clubs, they've all moved operations to south of France for this last week, so they can try and push everything. So people don't have to get flights to Saudi Arabia to get all the. They're fucking clever. I tell you what, that's clever. That's clever.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that was disappointing actually tonight was when Benny came off. I mean, it was the perfect opportunity to get Kudus on.
Yeah.
You know, I was disappointed we didn't see Kudus. Would have been a good game for him. You know, the game had opened up a bit at that point, and we had a lot of possession, and would have been nice to see what he could do. So it was, and I love Fornals. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a left winger, and he never has been.
Never have, and he never will be. And unfortunately, he'll never play the position that he's meant to play for West Ham because he's for some reason has been on this left hand side thing, and I don't know why it started. We bought him as a number 10, and then Moyes developed him he went into sort of 8 role, but he was never on the left. And a couple of games he went left wing back. I remember last season, I think for some reason he did all right, and then that was it. Then he's permanently on the left. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. I would have given Kudus, I would have taken him off and bring him on. I knew why I brought Fornals on because it was almost like the not shutting up shop, but just about that energy on the left hand side, tracking back, just helping out because they were getting down the wings quite. And that's last few games they have been getting. I mean, I remember the Chelsea game. You was there live. Sterling ripped Emerson and Soufal new ones that game. That's the best game I've seen Raheem Sterling play live. I thought he was phenomenal, and that's obviously was part of the game plan. Getting over the fullbacks. I thought Emerson's great going forward, but always a little bit suspect when it comes to defensive duties, and particularly if Aguirre's not having a good game, where he does a lot of covering of Emerson's defensively. Because quite often it was almost like Alvarez dropped back and they played 3 at the back almost. Alvarez was so deep. They played this sort of 3-back and moved Soufal and Emerson to wing backs, and I thought I like the way they could just do that and change. It's not that rigid. So yeah, it was not too bad. Put Antonio left, Bowen up front, and Kudus on the right. That's what I wanted, but I don't think Moyes wasn't going to be brave enough to do that. Top 2 play City on the 16th? Well, we'll see. City obviously playing this weekend, and too late for the old fantasy football league. I'm saying because you should know this stuff. I think it closed at 6 o'clock today. So if you haven't, you are gutted. City at home to Fulham, so you fancy that. Although Pliny is not going to Fulham, despite the fact not leaving Fulham to go to Bayern Munich, despite the fact apparently he had all the pictures and he had the shirt, and hopefully we'll see them. It'll be fucking hilarious. It was like. Dan James did it for Leeds, and it was on the documentary, wasn't it? And he had the shirt, and then he went to Man United. Absolutely fucking brilliant. I love it.
No one will ever beat Peter Odomungui though.
No, just turning up. That's
just
just
turning up at Tottenham.
that's like me bringing my boots to the London Stadium just in case.
Yeah.
But if you need me, you know where I am.
Yeah, I'm outside. So who is this? It's like Peter Adam Wingy. So what are you doing here? I said, well,
Oh,
in case you want to sign me, like I'm outside, we can get this done really quickly. It's like, mate, we haven't been for you. What are you doing here?
you know what? I do miss Harry Redknapp on the transfer window. I do miss him, just his arm out the window. But yeah. Done deal. Man United have signed Amrabat. Done deal. £8.6 million loan fee, with an option to buy him. £21 million add-on if they want to buy him. So shy of 13 million. Good player though. He was the best player against us. Luton have signed a player. That's impressive. Luton have signed Lokonga from Arsenal on loan.
On loan, yeah.
That's
He was.
impressive.
I saw him. They showed him actually during the game, sitting in the stand. He's probably thinking, "Oh fucking hell, what have I done?"
What have I turned up for? Any other things going down at the moment? Liverpool finally signed Gravenberch from by Munich for £34 million. Barcelona has signed João Felix on loan, as well as Cancelo from Man City. It looks like a little bit of obviously Spurs. Brennan Johnson, such a Spurs player, like James Maddison, such a just a Spurs player, and real Spurs.
Yeah, it'll be. I like Brennan Johnson. He's a good player. I'm not sure what his ceiling is. It'll be interesting to see how he goes at Tottenham. I'm unconvinced about Brennan Johnson. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I like him. So it'll be interesting to see. This will be the acid test for him to see how good can he be really. So this is one that could go either way for me. And I know we were linked with Brennan Johnson, and I remember thinking, I don't know. Did really well at Forest, but we'll see now. He's at a kind of bigger club that will expect quite a lot from him, and they're paying well for him. So
big
I'm
money.
still kind of unconvinced about Brennan Johnson, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games. It's one of those players, a bit like, because we don't see him week in, week out. We don't know. We just see highlights and stuff like that. It's a bit like when we were convinced that he should not be named the former captain was worth 100 million quid, because we saw him every game and everyone's else was like, what? No. But it's the same with him. It's just the same with James Ward-Prowse, in all honesty. I thought he was a bit of a one trick pony. He was a free kick taker, he was a corner kick taker. But actually, when you listen to my friend's a Southampton fan, he was like, honestly, he ran the midfield. He runs and runs and runs, and we see that. And it's only when you see them play, 90 minutes, you can really appreciate what they do.
Yeah, I think I never had a problem with James Ward-Prowse. I just thought that the 40 million that was being quoted initially was just too much. He's not worth that. I think what we paid for him in the end was about right.
Yeah, no, I agree. 27 minutes for Carlos Bacca to sign. Indeed.
Yeah, the old ones. Who was the other
Sean
one?
Wright Phillips, Idigan Johnson.
Oh, Batshuayi. We were linked with him many times, and it was. Yeah.
He's back on the trail with someone in the Premier League. I think it was always Idigan Johnson, wasn't it? Idigan Johnson, Sean Wright Phillips, Darren Bent. Actually, I tell you what, I listened to an interview that Jamie Talks did. And was it Darren Bent? Yes, it was. It was Darren Bent, and he asked him, was it Darren Bent? Yeah, he asked him, was he ever close to come to West Ham? And he said yes, he was. But basically, it was under the Biscuit Barons, and Curbs wanted him. Obviously, Curbs worked with him at Charlton, and he was ready to sign. And then he met Eggy, and he didn't want to sign for him after that. Oh dear! So it's not just our current ownership that encourages players not to sign for us as well. And I remember McAvenny telling me a story once where he was going to sign for Luton, and they were in the chairman's suite, and he had the contract in front of him, and This was obviously before West Ham signed him, and the chairman went and basically like gave him the hardest slap on his back. Looking forward to seeing you, turning out for Luton, Frank. And he slapped him. And who the fuck's that? And he went, that's the chairman. He went, I won't fucking sign him from now. And literally left. And then John Lyle phoned him, and he came to West Ham. I love stories like
yeah.
I love it. Thought Forest had financially induced yet to spend more. FFP is a joke, it seems. We'll see what happens. We don't know. We don't know what their losses, and again, they're not in Europe, so their loss can have up to 100 million in 3 years losses, where because we're part of Europa competitions, we only can do 50. It's 50 million. So naturally, the European clubs are almost hamstrung because because they have tight regulations, but then they are earning more money because they're in European competitions. So invariably, that should work out better. I mean, we apparently had a bunch of signings we were going to line up. None of them are going to happen now. And we've got 21 minutes of the transfer window left, and fuck all's going to happen. I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure fuck all's going to happen.
No, nothing's going to happen. We'll have wind of something by now. That we were at least trying to get a late one done, but there's not even any of that.
Yeah, I mean there was talk of Stein apparently flying out to Paris, but don't think anything happened with that one, to be honest. That was just a little bit of a rumor mill. Nothing seems to be happening now. Maybe a late deal but I think it's even too late to let people go now, because we'd only let people go if we can get them. Get replacements in, and someone like Cornet, there's no point letting him go. No point letting him go unless you get someone in now. No point at all.
Yeah, we're still in 4 competitions. We're going to need a squad.
Yeah, you're totally right. Totally right. By all accounts, looks like PSG rejected last-minute bids from us and Paris and Crystal Palace for Ekitike. Despite the fact Ekitike wanted to come to West Ham, they pulled out. Obviously, PSG pulled out the signing of Moana for Eintracht Frankfurt for £90 million.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. It's crazy money, isn't it? Crazy money. 20 minutes to get Tevez. Well, Tevez is currently manager of some Argentinian first division sides. So that'll be impressive if he decides to then come back to West Ham on a short-term deal. I don't think Green, bless you. Don't think it might happen, mate. But yeah, it doesn't bugger all is going to happen now. Let's have a look. Anything interesting happening anywhere else? The Salah deal is not dead yet, apparently. Well, don't forget this. Don't forget the Saudi transfer window doesn't close until next week, I want to say. Yeah, the 7th it closes on. So they've still got another week. So what's going to happen is every club now isn't going to sell anyone just yet, but what they're going to do is look at their 25-man squad and sell everyone that's not in the squad to the Saudis. Mm-hmm. That's what will happen to get their January war chest going. It's so obvious what's that, because obviously we have a 25-man squad and we're at 24. When Jesse comes in, that'll be 25. Done. There's a reason why I think we haven't signed anyone, because I think it's that 25 person. And unless we were going to get someone in or we was going to sell someone, then that would have happened. So I think that's what will happen. So I don't think you'll see any of our lot going because we won't have a big enough squad. What we got here? Breaking news: Arnie is back. He was re-signing for Inter Milan. Has that happened? I did see that the other day. How long has Kudus actually been on the roster and been training with the team? Since Monday. Yeah, because it was signed. It was signed officially. He had the video on Sunday night, so Monday. So it was always, for me, it was always part of Moyes' plan. I don't think he was going to start anyway today, because he was just like more of attrition, get the game won. International break, obviously, it's a key international break for us, actually, for one exact reason. That is Mohamed Kudus, really, because Ghana play the last of their qualifier games for the AFCONs. If they win or if they get a draw, they qualify for the AFCONs, which means when it comes to January, we'll have no Kudus, no Benrahma, no Aguerd, no Cornet. So there we go.
Yeah.
So yes, it's they play Central Republic, and Central Republic could go up, could qualify if they win anyway. So we'll see what happens with that. It was like watching Barcelona today, really. Well, the Barcelona basketball team, because certainly weren't the Barcelona football team, or maybe it was, but playing at the new camp because that's been demolished. That's probably why. What we got here? I think Andy Carroll's Andy Carroll's signed for Amiens League Dirt side. So fucking those are the signings I love. It's like old Andy Irvine. Andy Irvine from Scottish. I don't know where he was originally, but we signed him from this Austria side. Then we sent him back to the Austria side, and we bought him basically so he can set up this network in Austria now. Absolutely brilliant. Andy Irvine, bless him. 20 minutes to find Boogers and his caravan. Very, very good. David Grant would rather have a fully fit Kudus for City and Liverpool rather than risk injury. Home for a shock Fulham win tomorrow, and hopefully not, because my fantasy football league team will be up the cheek paddle otherwise. Serious question for Irish Tory: Barry's or Lions?
Ooh, hang tough. I saw that question in the comments. So if you hang tough for 1 second.
Oh, he's only going to do it.
I'm gonna do a reveal. Are you ready?
Yes. Barry's tea gold. Barry.
There you go.
Oh, he's a Barry's man.
That's the answer. Thanks, man.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Barry. Oh dear. It's like my daughter's friends. She's from Derry, and they're over, and my wife was having a conversation with the mother, and she didn't have a word, and they're lovely, but she couldn't understand a word she was saying because she has such a strong accent. It's hilarious, but yeah, well, I think we're going over there. I think we're going to Derry for New Year's, which is quite fun. Looking forward to that. 10 points. We'll take that, Jesus, but we are painful to watch. We certainly are. Pyatt is at Vasco da Gama now. He certainly is. T is T.
No, it's not.
It isn't, Peter. Come on, you're a veteran of life. You can't say T is T.
Peter's obviously a coffee man. Only a coffee man could say T is T.
Do you know what? I don't drink any hot drinks. Never have a tea, coffee. Just don't like it. Fair enough. And that's me. Possible right back.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, weirdo, but yeah, because the amount of cup of teas I do make, you think I might as well have just had one. But no, the right back replacements. No, we ain't getting anyone else, mate. We ain't getting no one else apart from Jesse Lingard. Where is Tim Stein and where is these Jet?
His Jet is probably in for maintenance because it's been busy. He's really chalked up those air miles.
But that's why I said Mrs. Steiner must love a big Toblerone.
Yeah,
because that's what you get in it. Those duty free, those big Toblerones is the only way you can get them. And he's been regardless of what happens in the next 14 minutes, i.e., nothing. I mean, this transfer window.
She probably doesn't see him all summer or in January.
No. It's probably like she probably dreads non-transfer time because now she's like, oh, he's going to be kicking his feet now, and like waiting, itchy feet, ready to fly to Paris or fly to Brazil again, to not sign someone else again. But yeah, no, it's taken a while for things to start working, but he's changed the way I've looked at transfer rumors now, because you see these random, like where we used to have these random people linked. I mean, I think it's 161 players we've been linked with this transfer window. And one of them we've bought, we were never linked with in terms of Andy Irvine, which just shows the ridiculous nature of it all. But any time that like a random signing random rumor, you think that's a Tim Steiner one. Tim, in Tim we trust. And he's taken that Declan Rice money, and I think he's done. Oh, I fucking said his name. That's another pound in the jar, in the swear jar. But he's really, I think, got some really good, as you said, quality over quantity. Last year we spent, 180 million, bought in 9 players. Fucking, to one of them's already gone back. Kept the receipt. He went back to Italy. And again, obviously, Paqueta took him 6 months to sort of turn up. Again, was injured and things like that. But I mean, apart from Mavropanos, who we'll see after the international break. I mean, Kudus we'll see after the international break properly. JWP coming straight into the side, playing 1990s.
It'll be interesting because normally we're very, very quiet in January. We normally kind of do one very late signing to bolster the squad in some area where we're short. So it'll be interesting to see now with Steidton there if we're going to be busier in January than normal. If not, then basically he has January off as well, doesn't he? He can just in the summers.
You'd imagine there would be, there's, that's the whole idea of this. He's not just the recruitment person. He's the technical director, so he needs to look after everything. So obviously Noble was doing the older draw today in Monaco, and I thought he was in Monaco. I was thinking, fucking hell, just little, it's a shorter hop to Monaco to Paris than it is from London. So you could have popped in and had a go at Etiquette and bring him back, but no, it didn't happen. So it'll be obviously then he's literally come in and literally be on a plane, off you go, go and sign players. And now he's obviously got back, he can, until obviously January, he'll be reassessing, seeing the areas. Clearly, we know fullbacks are an area we need to bring in. I personally think that's an area they'll prioritise next summer because the likes of Soufal will be entering his final year. And obviously Cresswell will no longer be here. And you'll have Emerson. So I think fullbacks are an area we'll prioritise next year in terms of the next summer. So we'll see what happens. Possibly a real positive is that on the pitch, the home game is a real advantage. Yeah, fair play. His missus is his co-pilot. That's like that. What was it called? Come Fly With Me, like the Little Britain, and it was like that the husband was the pilot and the wife was the co-pilot because he had an affair, so she learned to be a pilot to sit with him. I reckon Tim Stein is one of the Thunderbirds. He's a secret lair on a Brazilian island, and he flies up in the jet in times of international transfer crises. Did the Ronnie Edwards deal fall through? Ronnie Edwards from Peterborough. Nothing's happened. We haven't heard anything about that. So yeah. Quite possibly, or it might be something that I don't know. It's the type of thing we probably would announce afterwards. It's not like if we did sign him, I think we'd probably loan him back to Peterborough for the rest of the season, in all honesty, because he wouldn't get game time at West Ham. But he's a good player. Harlow boy, West Ham fan, I believe. I think any signings like Edwards and Irvine will be announced later due to the match tonight. I think the Irvine deal is big. There's still that's what X was saying. There's still some not complications, but because of the whole sort of setup in terms of us there being our feeder club or whatnot, there needs to be a few more I's and T's dotted. I really like Moyes. I really like that Moyes said he's really happy with the new signings. Well, too fucking right. Other teams kick themselves for not signing JWP. I totally agree. Because I mean, no one put in for him. And that's the thing. It's like, and I know Ibrahim Sanya has gone today to Forest, but again, that's taken to the last day for like Sanya to go. And if Fofana apparently is in talks with Forest as well, that's the whole fucking summer as well. These players that we thought were going to be shit hot, no other fuckers bought them until the last second of the day. No deals happening due to no fax paper for the fax machine.
That was the De Gea deal to Real Madrid, wasn't
it?
Yeah.
Fax machine. Fucking hell. What we got here? Very good. Top African striker. We sign no one has been seen at Rush Green. Very good. Well done. Well done. Alvarez looks class. I totally agree. Never mind the tea question. It's Friday night. What's your what? Uze beef? What? I don't understand that. Is that an Irish thing, Tommy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just laughs himself like a little schoolboy.
Yeah. Didn't I? Yeah, I don't know.
Right,
I'm not a drinker. I'm not a drinker, to be honest. I'm just like I tried, like when I was over for Chelsea game, I tried a couple of ones. I tried the what did I have? I tried Amstel. That was quite nice.
Yep.
Amstel I quite liked that actually.
It's quite a light beer, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah.
it's nice cold. I think any beer tastes better when it's ice cold. I hate warm beer. No, I'm not much of a drinker either. Although my wife is proper into Aperol Spritz at the moment, and it's like she's just discovered it. Like it's only been around for like a week, and it's like it's been around for years. But yeah, that's all she fucking drinks now. Aperol Spritz. Oh, should we get Aperol Spritz? Oh Jesus! Oh, be Jesus! What we got here? Looks a bargain indeed. Latest ITK from Moyes wanted 2 more players. Club flailed. Complete shit show during the PR stunt in Brazil. Gerrard will come in for Antonio again. 12 million tax free per year. Good luck. Nothing's come out. Can't see that. No.
We can't let Antonio go now.
Too late. The club will not. That's the thing. The only players that will be going will be people like. Well, actually, I don't think anyone's going to go now. To be honest, because we're not going to. Because the squad is at 24. If we buy anyone else, then it's too late to bring anyone in. Apart from his free transfers. And again, the only one we're going to get in is Jesse Lingard. I said the only people who I think will go to the Saudi leagues are the guys who are left out of the 25-man Premier League squads, and the sides will see them as an opportunity to bulk up their money for January. So it'll be all the outcasts, all the people that that just wouldn't get into it. Yeah, Chelsea's. I mean, I don't know how many players Chelsea have got available, but I'd say more than 25. But don't forget, isn't it also they can, and that's why I don't even see even people like Connor Coventry. I can't see. There's no point in him going now, is there? Because we need him. We've got 4 games in 10 days. He'll play in the Carabao Cup probably, and so these guys. There's no point in getting rid of them now. Indeed, Chinese striker. I know score. I know score. said he can't. Hadn't heard of us. There we go. And the Scottish left back Jock Strap has been linked as well. Very good. 30 points to go, indeed. And that's the West Ham listening, isn't it? We're top of the league. 4 games gone, 10 points. We're thinking that's a quarter away from safety, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you see the all these fake names?
Yeah.
It reminded me when TalkSport do those, ask people to put in those teams that have a theme to them.
Yeah.
Do you know, like if it's something like a team that's something to do with dogs or something?
Oh yeah, we used to hear it all the time. Yeah. Like
some of the names like Harry Canine and.
Yeah, no, we used to. I might bring it back again. We used to do like, the West Ham Ice Cream 11, and so like Maxwell Cornet Toe, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
People, there's some people who I'd give them homework, so I'd say it like it's the day before, and they'd go away and like they come back. With, like,
was it Kenny Dalglish? Remember that?
I've got them somewhere. I can't remember. We used to have a good old run with that. Which is more realistic, top 6 finish or Europa League champions?
Top 6 finish or Europa League champions? Oh, geez. Well, Europa League champions is more likely, I think.
More likely, yeah.
I think it's more doable than top 6. I think to crack the top 6 now, I think is really tough.
It's really tricky. I mean, you look at you've got, obviously, I know we're top, but City is still miles apart from everyone. You've got, I mean, I think Chelsea you'll see a decent, because obviously they'll have no European football this year. That makes a massive difference. That's where Liverpool sort of came out of nowhere. Do you remember they didn't have European football one year, and then they end up winning the league that year, if I remember that season, because it makes a massive difference. I think you'll see Brighton drop down because of the Europa League as well, because they have a small squad. Maybe even Villa as well, despite the fact Villa got a good squad. It's a relatively smallish squad. Obviously Brentford aren't going to be. They ain't got either Tony till January. I think you could sneak. I mean, you could sneak through. You might be able to sneak 6. I reckon 6th or 7th this year.
Well, we have Europe as well, so
But we know that now. That we've almost got 2 sides now, haven't we? And although, to be honest, for me, actually, that first year where we had sort of one side and we just kept them going till their legs fell off, that you got the momentum from the European game going into the Sunday game, whereas here it's always a very stop-start. So we know when we play Freiburg, for example, we know Fornals will play. We know Lingard will probably play. Connor Coventry will probably play. We know it's going to be Ogbonna. We know it's going to be Cresswell. We know it's going to be probably Tilo Kira. We know it's going to be Fabianski. It's going to be a totally different side. So there's no continuity. You give them a week off, but, actually are quite having sort of the momentum. A winning team keeps winning. And, I think that was the trouble. Our European side were winning and our league side weren't winning. And actually you're thinking, fuck it, just put the Premier League side in the European games and just get momentum going. But it didn't happen.
Yeah, I think the thing for me is I just don't want to have a shit season in the Premier League this season. Like, if we can, like, hand on heart, like, if we can stay like top 12 and really, really have a go at the Europa League, I'd love us to try and do that.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, it's about trophies, isn't it? You just want to win something, and I mean, if we could imagine winning back-to-back trophies in Europe, I mean, just would be amazing.
Well, Davy Moyes is on for winning the conference, the Europa League, and Champions League in successive seasons, so he's still on for that. So, and the West Ham fans were chanting, "We're going to win the league." So,
I think also, I think we're going to come through our group, and if we can top the group, I mean, we go straight into the last 16.
Makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Makes a huge difference. And if at that point, let's say we top the group, we're into the last 16, that doesn't come around until March. And I think if we're in a very solid position in the Premier League at that point, I think you have to go all out.
It's the same. I mean, it's sort of what happened, isn't it? By the time we had, because we had a really shit until the World Cup, and then after the World Cup, we started to play a bit better and pick up points. And it was almost by the time we got through to the last 16 of the conference, we weren't 100% safe at all, but we'd had a few wins on the back. We started to do a little bit better. When it came to March again, we started to kick on, and obviously that was the priority, because actually it means, as long as we do enough to stay up, we weren't going to qualify in Europe in the league that year. So actually it was about trying to win the trophy. And that's what you want to get to a situation. For me, it's about as quick as we can to get to 40 points, and then we'll see what we can do. If by then we're still in the Carabao, if by then we're still in the FA Cup, as you said, and also what I think is critical about winning the group for the Europa League, it's not only going straight through to the playoffs, but playing that second leg at home. That makes such a difference.
Yeah.
We've had that situation before where, I took back to the Europa League for the first season. That Sevilla game was phenomenal because we knew exactly what we had to do. The Lyon game, the Eintracht Frankfurt game, both times it was only half time, so we didn't know. Getafe have just signed Mason Greenwood.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's it. It's closed. The window is shut. The door is locked. Off it goes. And apparently Mohamed Al Fayed, the former Fulham manager, Fulham owner, has died at the age of 94.
Good innings.
Great innings. Now, funny story about Al Fayed. God rest his soul now. He came to West Ham, watched the West Ham game, watched the Hammerettes, bought the Hammerettes immediately after the game. There we go.
Yeah, he did better than poor Dodie, didn't he? So
yeah, exactly. That's it, mate. That's it. It's done. What's breaking news? Breaking news. Tottenham have signed Brennan Johnson. There we go. They finally signed him. Apparently, a minute earlier, Nottingham Forest released a video which said, "Thank you for everything, Brennan." So he's like,
but just off. Why did Fiorentina allow Amrabat to go on loan?
Well, they bought them. Yes, this morning they brought the midfielder in they wanted from Sassuolo. And I think Amrabat, that's, for me, it shows you the fucking professionalism of Paqueta, in all honesty, because Amrabat down tools and said, I want to go to Man United. And that was it. And so they found out the best. I mean, they've got like 8 million quid off him now for the loan deal, and they'll buy him. So basically 30 million by the end of the next year. They didn't need to sell, but they bought his replacement already. So yeah, I mean, you look at fucking, the guy from Eintracht Frankfurt, old Colo, he down tools to get to PSG. That didn't work.
Yeah.
But Paqueta, fair fucking play.
Yeah, I've seen I see there Palace have signed Rob Holding from Arsenal.
Yes, yeah, I saw that one. We were talking about that earlier this morning.
That's such a Palace signing, isn't it? As well? It's kind of, yeah.
It is. I love it. I do. It's there's certain signings you go that it's got their name all over it. But
Yeah, I don't see what it's going to do for them particularly, but okay.
Yeah. Well, he's just another body. I mean, you know, what's name signed PSV signed. I used to call him Ketchup, but it's Kotchap.
Oh yeah, that Ketchup fella, yeah.
Yeah, from Southampton, season long loan. He's someone I think he's a great player. I would have loved him to come over to. If it was on loan, fucking bring him over here. You know what I mean? It's like I'm surprised we didn't do a deal. Didn't look at bringing Walker Peters over. But hey ho.
Yeah, Ketchup would have, if we got in for him, Ketchup would have been all over that.
Hey, boom, 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 saucy, you saucy devil, like it. Holding £4 million. £4 million, really? Wow, that's Palace down then.
Well, I suppose holding for 4 million, it's a no lose deal, really, isn't it? If he comes in and does well for them, it's and if it doesn't work out, they'll get their money back up from somebody else.
Apparently, West Ham's last offer to PSG for Hugo Ekitike was a loan offer of 4.3 million with a 25.7 million option to buy him after a certain number of games, so 5 million euros and 30 million, and that was rejected by PSV out of spite, I think, because
they probably knew Moyes ain't going to play him.
Well, he waited to come, but apparently it was he's really PSG fucking hate him now because he was the one who basically stopped they reckon he was the one who blocked the Eintracht Frankfurt striker coming. So they hate him. So they're probably like, you fucking stay.
Yeah, I'm going to call it now. I'm going to call it now. I think Forest have pulled Tottenham's pants down on that Brennan Johnson deal. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, I think so. Without a shadow of a doubt. I think 45 million, something like that, 50 million, something like that is ridiculous. It's a lot of money for someone who's had one season in the Premier League.
Yeah, 47.5 million. I mean, for Brennan Johnson, I mean, it's insane money.
That's crazy.
He's a decent player, but he ain't Paqueta.
He ain't Paqueta. There's no one better than Lucas Paqueta. He's a Brazilian Magnifico, didn't you know?
But he just loved watching that man play football.
Oh, do you know what? He has it's the last few games for me. He's got this swagger, and it's just, I love it. I love the fact he's got this swagger about him. I love the fact that he just slows the ball down all the time, just slows it down, and it just everything. It's almost like there's sometimes today that Alvarez did the same thing. Just hold the ball, and no one decided to go near him in fear of being absolutely, done like a kipper. Yeah, exactly. And that's what you want. You want him to hold off because then that just gives him more space. And what I would have loved him to see more is those really fast, whippy passes he was bringing into the midfield. And we say it, it was like slow, and then he got the ball and then direct, really quick passes into space for Antonio to run into, or in behind Ben Rama. And the commentary was saying he was seeing passes that no one else was seeing, and you got that 3 or 4 times. I thought it was exceptional. And we knew we were going to get a good season out of him. With a full pre-season behind him, hitting the ground running, and I just think he's. It's
weird. It's like when he's on the ball, he's a Brazilian.
Yes,
and when we're not in possession, he's English.
He's a madman, isn't he?
He runs around, he gets stuck into tackles, he challenges in the air for everything, he runs, chases everything. It's like, you can't fault the guy, really.
No.
But normally you get a player like that, like a luxury player.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he doesn't track back and he doesn't work very hard, but you forgive him because of what he does when he's on the ball. But he does both.
Yeah, he's manic. He's almost. My heart is in my mouth a little bit when he's not in the possession, because he traces and he tries to put foots in, and it's like 9 times out of 10 he'll do well, but there'll be once where he'll just overstretch, or like he'll just get a little bit little bit enthusiastic in the tackle, and that's it. And that's what it takes for him. But no, he's a special player, mate. He's a special player, and I'm glad we've got him at least until January. And then we'll see
I
what
don't know.
happens.
Even in January, I'd be like, no,
Well,
we're going to be heading into such a crucial
yeah,
part of our season, and hopefully, we'll have qualified for the knockout phase of the Europa League, and fingers crossed we could still be in the Carabao.
yeah,
The Carabao is one we can really go for, I think, given
definitely.
the way what time of the season it runs.
Yeah.
Because if we can still be in it once we've concluded the group stage of the Europa League, I mean, we kind of got pretty much a free run at the Carabao Cup to the final.
No, I agree. And don't forget as well is, the fact is this next the third round, I think there's 7 all Premier League ties. So that's 7 Premier League ties. Seven clubs are going to be knocked out already when he goes into the fourth round. And I totally agree. I think it fits in quite nicely in terms of the Carabao. And I think in terms of Baketa, you're right as well. The fact is, I think, come January, someone's actually literally put it in the chat. De Bruyne would be back as well. So
can you imagine, just for a second, just like if we feel like City are going to come back in from in January if he gets cleared on the charges, and say it comes in like December that he's been cleared of all charges, and we're so desperate not to lose him that we appeal the decision to drag it on a bit longer so City won't buy him in January.
Well, I love it, the fact that we asked for an extension by 3 weeks. So because
Premier League, no, you don't understand. We've cleared him.
Yeah.
Cleared him.
No.
We understand you've cleared him. We're appealing this decision.
Yeah, we're appealing this.
Keep Man City off our fucking backs in January.
And also, Paqueta's they asked for a 3-week extension because Paqueta's lawyer was on holiday. Really? He's on. So in all the world, he hasn't got like a number 2. No, he's on holiday. Can't use. No, he's on holiday, mate. He's on holiday. I love it. I absolutely love it. But also, the fact is, if someone did come in and want him in January, they'd have to pay in excess of £85 million because they know come summer, his £85 million, release clause comes into effect.
Yeah.
So there's no point. There's no point selling him until the summer anyway, where we'll see what happens in the summer. But hopefully by then we'll be in the Champions League. Who knows? Because we've won the Europa League or the Premier League, as the fans were singing tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of weeks' time. Going to be a very interesting title 6-pointer against City. So looking forward to that.
Top of the table clash.
Table clash with City. If we win that, we're in the driving seat for the title.
That's it. That's it. Happened for Leicester.
Can you imagine? Could you just imagine if we mice-ball our way to a fucking Premier League title?
Nick's head would explode.
Nick will go find another team.
Oh, I love Nick. I love Nick. I love Nick.
Yeah, he'd be like,
funny.
Yeah, he'd be like, fuck this.
But how big would Moyes' head be walking in? You wouldn't be able to walk out of London Stadium. His head would be so big because it's already quite big already because he won a cup, and it'd be even bigger.
Mikel Antonio's 35 Premier League goals. Just
and then Bowen and Esto and JWP still can't get into the England squad. Yeah. Even when we win the title. Unbelievable. So just let over Saudi players play instead of like Jordan Henderson. That makes sense. Right, I'm going to go, Tommy. I think we're done, mate. I think we're done. Let's get over.
Yes, I think our work here is done.
Our work here is done. West Ham are top of the league, having a laugh, having slaughtered Luton Town 2-1 at Kenilworth Road, and we haven't signed anyone. And Jesse Lingard will be coming after the international break. And that's it. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Thank you for joining us all. We've been literally on all fucking day. So thank you, because we had the Europa League draw, we've had the transfer window, we've had the game as well. Tommy's been on, Dan's been on, Holly's been on, Anton's been on, Luke's been on. We've all been fucking on. And I don't know what we're going to talk about tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Anyway.
Yeah.
Have a rest.
Something will happen at West Ham in the next few hours. They never disappoint, West Ham.
There's always something.
They'll announce Lingard or something.
They'll announce Messi. Just randomly for no apparent reason.
Are there any like decent players left on free transfers. I was so disappointed we didn't try and go get Kamada, I must say.
Yeah, I think that was always a strange thing about Kamada, in all honesty, because he was going to go to AC, wasn't he, first?
Yeah.
And then that fell through, and then Lazio fell through, then they came back in for him. So I don't know whether he was asking for too much money or anything like that. Do you know, it was like last year with what's his face, Belotti, wasn't it? And it was always, and he ended up going to Monaco for no random reason. Players,
tax free.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because it's a nice place to live, out of contract. Let's have a look. And it's still got any good ones. Contract expiring. Lucas Moura, the former Tottenham player.
Pace Merchant.
We've still got Joseph Martinez, is he? From MLS, from Inter Miami. Apparently he's still out. He's out. Is that? No, that's not right, is it? Contract ending. Yeah, it's contract ending 2023. Yeah, okay. Anyone else? No, Lucas Moura. No one there. Then we're getting into the second page. So anyone on there, surely no one's going to be any good. There's a lot of Mexican players and MLS. Because obviously MLS is the season runs differently, doesn't it? Yeah. So there's a lot of MLS players. But yeah, no one of note that I can see.
Yeah, and Eden Hazard retired at 32.
Yeah, because Palace were looking at him, weren't they? Randomly, and it was like a bit of a random one. Yeah, my mate Mike Trezor has gone to Burnley. I'm gutted. Mike Trezor, the Belgian Pro League Player of the Year, 24 assists last season and 8 goals. Again, and he's gone to Burnley. Gutted. He was the one we're going to get if we didn't get Kudus. We'd have got him. And I liked him because name was Mike Trezor. But yeah. Yep. So apart from Jesse Lingard, that's the only one we could potentially get in before we have to. Oh, Diego Costa.
Oh, Wolves released him. Okay. He's probably not even as old as I think, is he?
No.
He's not like 50.
I don't think I think he's gone. I think he's actually gone. Actually, I think he's gone to Botafogo. Actually, but anyway, yeah, it's a shame. Sorry, Mr. Dubas, he got you up and running for that. Anyway, it's been a great day. Take care. Still in top spot, indeed. Take time to put my feet up for a few weeks. We've got the international breaks now, so we just got to pray we don't get anyone injured. Now that's the trouble now. But we haven't got to worry about JWP or Bowen because they didn't get selected. Because Gareth, he's an idiot. Anyway, on that bombshell, take care. Sweet dreams. Go to bed. RB. And
top of the
league and having a laugh. Champions of Europe. That's what we are. See you later, guys. Take care. Much love.
Shithousing our way to the Premier League title.
Moyes
balling our way all the way to the Premier League.
We're gonna win the league. You're never gonna believe us. Moyes is gonna win the league. Sweet dreams, everyone.